blacktop ribbon turns into stone, where a man meets every truth alone. I stopped by the hill with the wooden cross, bottle in my hand for the boys we lost. The names cut deep where the wild weeds grow, and the night stood still on that gravel road. I said, brothers, I ain't been living right, been chasing the dark, been feeding the fight, but I heard that wind through the dead oak trees, like their old voices calling back to me. Sing me a gravel road requiem for the wild ones gone, and the man I've been, for the broken wheels and the promises burned, for every lesson I was too proud to learn. Let the dust rise high, let the night unfold. I got scars for silver and regret for gold, till my last breath falls where the cold winds blow. Sing me a requiem on that gravel road. Ride low, ride slow, for the ones below that gravel road. There was a boy in me before all this, before hard liquor and a goodbye kiss. He had clean hands and a woman's trust, before the road ground everything to dust. She begged me once by the kitchen door, said, you keep leaving, I can't love you more. I heard her crying, still turn that key. Some wounds ain't done till they set you free. I ain't asking for the past returned or a clean white soul where my sins once burned. Just one more night to face what I know and leave something honest on that gravel road. Sing me a gravel road requiem for the wild ones gone, and the man I've been, for the broken wheels and the promises burned, for every lesson I was too proud to learn. Let the dust rise high, let the night unfold. I got scars for silver and regret for gold, till my last breath falls where the cold winds blow. Sing me a requiem on that gravel road. I poured 3 shots in the Tennessee dirt, one for the dead, one for the hurt, one for the fool still wearing this skin, trying like hell to be human again. I can't undo what my hands let fall, can't answer every graveyard call, but I can ride straight, I can say their names, I can carry the love and put down the blame. Hear the thunder underneath my wheels, that's the sound of a wound that finally feels. No running now, no hiding low, I'm taking my soul down that gravel road. Sing me a gravel road requiem for the wild ones gone, and the man I've been, for the broken wheels and the promises burned, for every lesson I was too proud to learn. Let the dust rise high, let the night unfold. I got scars for silver and regret for gold, till my last breath falls where the cold winds blow. Sing me a requiem on that gravel road. 3 shots poured, 1 engine low, carrying me home down that gravel road. line where I buried a pistol in '99, wrapped in a bandana with a dead man's ring and the last clean piece of anything. His name was Gabriel, he rode by my side till the card game turned and the bottle lied. I drew in anger, saw the muzzle flash, and heard my whole life shattered in the glass. I told the law he left town, headed east, told his woman he ran from the life he'd keep. But the desert don't forget what a man's hands do. Every night those coyotes sing it back true. Coyotes sing for the guilty at night under Death Star heaven and a moonbone light. They call through the cactus, they cry through the stone for the men we put down and pretend have gone. Let the dry sand shift, let the old grave speak. I've been strong for the lie, now I'm done being weak. When the wind finds my name where the lost ones lie, coyotes sing for the guilty tonight. Sing low, desert wide, truth comes on in the night. I found this woman in a trailer outside Page, 2 grown sons and a face lined with age. She opened that door with a guarded stare, said, "I've seen that bike, why are you here?" I held out the rain, couldn't lift my eyes, said Gabriel never left, I buried him in lies. I was drunk, I was angry, and I took his life. Then I stole your goodbye and I stole your right. A roller boy hit me till I tasted dirt. I didn't raise a hand, didn't dodge the hurt. She stopped him crying, said, "Show me where," and the desert went silent when I led them there. Coyotes sing for the guilty at night under Death Star heaven and a moonbone light. They call through the cactus, they cry through the stone for the men we put down and pretend have gone. Let the dry sand shift, let the old grave speak. I've been strong for the lie, now I'm done being weak. When the wind finds my name where the lost ones lie, coyotes sing for the guilty tonight. For the guilty tonight. Till the dawn showed a rusted chain, his bandana faded by years of rain. His woman fell down, pressed her hand to the ground and made a kind of cry that don't carry sound. I said, "Call the sheriff, I'll wait right here." She looked at my jacket through a lifetime of tears, said, "Prison won't give him back to my door, but you don't get to ride from his name anymore." Gave them his truth, gave up the legend I wore in my youth. When the patrol lights painted the desert red, I heard those coyotes singing for the dead. Coyotes sing for the guilty at night under Death Star heaven and a hard white light. They call through the cactus, they cry through the stone for a brother I killed and finally brought home. Let the old grave speak. A man ain't forgiven just because he comes clean. But when the wind finds my name where the lost ones lie, I'll answer those coyotes till the day I die. Gabriel, brother, truth came too late. Coyotes still singing outside their gate. Oh, yeah, yeah. I found a stack of letters in a leather case, tied with a ribbon, one thing with age. My brother's handwriting, crooked and blue. Every page started with "I'm coming home to you." You rode with me when the world turned mean. Two black machines and a reckless dream. Then a mountain curve took him in the rain, and I kept those letters like I owned his pain. They were meant for a woman in a town up north, the love he promised he'd come back for. 20 years of silence inside my bag, 20 years riding with a white surrender flag. Letters in the saddlebag, heavy as stone, words from a dead man trying to get home. I rode through thunder, I rode through shame, with a brother's last love calling out my name. Let the high road twist, let the cold wind drag. I can't hide forever behind this black flag. Tonight I'm carrying what I should have had, those letters in the saddlebag. Carry them home, carry them back. No more ghosts in the saddlebag. Stood small beneath the northern sky, red door faded, roses growing wild. A silver-haired woman answered slow, saw his patch in my hand and already seemed to know. I said I loved you right up to the end. I was as coward though I called myself friend. She held those letters against her chest, then asked why I made her wait with nothing left. I said I couldn't face what his leaving meant, so I made your grief my punishment. She said your guilt never kept him near, it only stole the truth from all these years. Letters in the saddlebag, heavy as stone, words from a dead man finally coming home. I rode through thunder, I rode through shame, with a brother's last love carrying his name. Let the high road twist, let the cold wind drag. I laid down the burden inside that bag. Tonight she held what she should have had, those letters from the saddlebag. From the saddlebag. Whoa. She opened one page, read one line, smiled through tears that weren't all mine. Said he wrote that he was done running wild, he wanted a home, maybe someday a child. I looked at the floor with nothing to say. She put his patch in my hand anyway. Said ride with love, not only regret. He ain't done living if you ain't done yet. Empty saddlebag, full heart tonight, full heart tonight. One old brother finally made it right, Mountain road open, first dawn clear. I rode with his voice, not only his fear. Letters in the saddlebag, no longer stone, words from a dead man finally home. I rode through thunder, I rode through shame. Now I ride with mercy beside his name. Let the high road twist, let the cold wind drag. No more buried truth in a warm black bag. She got the love that she should have had, from the letters in the saddlebag. Carry them home, carry them home. Bag hanging empty, sky turning blue. Brother, your words made it through. There's a chapel made of boards outside Santa Fe, with a crooked wooden door and the paint worn away. I pulled in shaking with a sunset red, a saddlebag full of letters I never sent. One for a woman who waited too long, one for a daughter who grew up gone, one for myself when my hands were clean, before I traded love for a running machine. I took out a match and I held it high, felt 40 hard years staring through my eyes. A man can't burn every scar he earned, but he can face the smoke when the pages burn. One last match in the desert wind for the man I was and the road I've been, for the vows I broke, for the hands I lost, for the miles I bought at a terrible cost. Let the flame rise up, let the black smoke roll. I ain't burning memories, I'm freeing my soul. When the ash falls down and the night rolls in, I'll ride lighter with the desert wind. Burn slow, let it go. Desert wind, carry it home. I found a small cross in the chapel dust, someone left behind when they ran out of trust. I ain't been praying since I was 19, but I held that wood like it knew what I mean. Outside my old bike coughed and shook, same as my hands when I opened her book. A little girl drawn in purple and blue said, "Daddy, come back, I've been waiting for you." The ink had faded, but the words cut clean. No highway ever ran as far as me. I put that drawing inside my vest, said, "Maybe old sinners still get one test." One last match in the desert wind for the man I was and the road I've been, for the vows I broke, for the hands I lost, for the miles I bought at a terrible cost. Let the flame rise up, let the black smoke roll. I ain't burning memories, I'm freeing my soul. When the ash falls down and the night rolls in, I'll ride lighter with the desert wind. I burned every letter but the one with her name. Some files release you, some show you the blame. I turned that envelope over in my hand, saw an address written in another state. Maybe she'll hate me, maybe she should, maybe sorry don't repair what it could. But I ain't dying with the truth unsaid, or leaving another ghost in my stead. Old chrome shaking, new road wide, crossing my pocket, drawing inside. No promise of mercy, no guarantee, just a door somewhere waiting on me. One last match in the desert wind for the man I was and the road I've been, for the vows I broke, for the hands I lost, for the life still left after paying the cost. Let the flame die down, let the dawn begin. I ain't the same fool who rode in when the ash falls cold and the sun breaks thin. I'll ride forward with the desert wind. Crossing my pocket, her picture within. One last match in the desert wind. There's a 9-bridge north of Baton Rouge, where the river runs black and the lights burn blue. Me and Johnny crossed it 100 times, two young devils on borrowed lives. I kept a brass belt tied beneath his bar, said it scared bad spirits from traveling far. The night it went down, that bell rang once, then silence rolled in like a loaded gun. I pulled that bell from a shattered frame, kept it 12 years beside his name. But a promise buried still drags a man till he finishes what his brother began. Ring that bell at Mercy Bridge for the fallen boys and the lives we live, for the whiskey nights and the vows we broke, for a brother still riding through the smoke. Let the river rise, let the cold wind roll. I got his last wish burning in my soul. Tell his son here's why his father never came. Ring that bell and speak his name. Ring low, river roll, ride on, brother's soul. Johnny had a boy down in Lafayette, only 2 years old when his sun went black. I told myself the kid was better alone than hearing road tales from a man like me. But I found him working in a tire shop base, same dark eyes, same crooked way. He saw that bell hanging off my machine, said my mama's got a picture of one like these. I couldn't lie, couldn't ride away. I said, son, your daddy saved my life that day. He pushed me clear when the steel came fast, and he gave you his tomorrow with his last. Ring that bell at Mercy Bridge for the fallen boys and the lives we live, for the whiskey nights and the vows we broke, for a brother still riding through the smoke. Let the river rise, let the cold wind roll. I got his last wish burning in my soul. Now his son knows why his father never came. Ring that bell and speak his name. Just closed his fist around that bell like a sacred gift, said take me there where my father fell. So 2 bikes rolled out beneath that bell. At the bridge rail he tied it down, let that brass voice shake the ground, and said, oh man, you carried him far, I'll carry him now wherever we are. River below, new engines high, one old greed finally learned to ride. The bell rang clear through the breaking dawn, like Johnny saying, boys, roll on. while that bell kept singing Johnny's name. Mercy Bridge, the river below, the ring for my brother, and let him go. Town with an empty glass and the rain coming down. The waitress said, "Boy, you look like hell." I said, "Hell knows me pretty well." There's a matchbook number I'll never call, a faded knife mark in the bathroom wall, a pocket full of change, a tank half dry, and the road out west where the old ghost hide. I hear those engines from another life, hear my brothers laughing in the night. I can't bring them back, can't make things right, but I can keep their memory alive. I got burned miles behind me, black smoke ahead, a highway full of promises I left for dead. No mercy in the mirror, no peace in my bed, just a flame in my chest where the good times bled. I ride with the lost, I ride with the gone, I ride when the night says I don't belong. Let the whole world break, let the cold wheels roll. I got burned miles behind me, but they won't take my soul. Burn miles behind, still rolling, still alive. There was a girl with a raven tattoo. She loved the man I was trying to lose. Left a ring on a gasoline can, said you love that road more than any woman can. I watched the taillights fading to red with 100 apologies stuck in my head. Some men run wild, some men run scared, some men lose everything that ever cared. So I carved a name where the chrome still shines, next to the brothers I left behind. Every scar I own, every bridge I burned is a lesson the road made sure I learned. I got burned miles behind me, black smoke ahead, a highway full of promises I left for dead. No mercy in the mirror, no peace in my bed, just a flame in my chest where the good times bled. I ride with the lost, I ride with the gone, I ride when the night says I don't belong. Let the whole world break, let the cold wheels roll. I got burned miles behind me, but they won't take my soul. For a crowd to shout. I made my bed on a yellow line with an outlaw heart and borrowed time. When my motor falls quiet, when my hands turn cold, lay my jacket down where the night winds blow. Don't ride no sorrow, don't carve no lie, just light one match and let the sparks rise. I've been broken, I've been blamed, I've been baptized in gasoline rain, but I'm still here and I still know a man ain't dead while his wheels still roll. I got burned miles behind me, black smoke ahead, a highway full of promises I left for dead. No mercy in the mirror, no peace in my bed, just a flame in my chest where the good times bled. I ride with the lost, I ride with the gone, I ride when the night says I don't belong. Let the whole world break, let the cold wheels roll. I got burned miles behind me. But they won't take my soul. Won't take my soul. Burn miles behind me. The one fire still glows. Night keeps calling, and I still roll. I live my hometown under a moon gone red, with my father's curse still loud in my head. He said, boy, that road will take all you own. I laughed through my teeth and I rode alone. I had a girl with a cross on her chain, soft blue eyes and a heart without stain. She prayed I'd return before the winter came. I sent back silence and carried the shame. Now every motel room got a Bible drawer. Every page says what I already know. There ain't no mercy in a runaway heart when it leaves good love bleeding in the dark. Saints don't ride this far into the night with whiskey breath and knuckles white. Saints don't leave their angels crying alone and chase their shadows down a road of stone. I got no wings, got no shining star, just an engine in the weight of who we are. If heaven wants me, it knows where to start. But saints don't ride this far, ride far, ride hard. No halo, just scars. I met a drifter at a roadside fire, gray beard shaking, eyes still tied. He said I rode 40 years to outrun my name, but a man ain't free when he drags his chains. He held a letter with an unopened seal, said from my son, but I don't know how to feel. Then he fed it to the flame with a trembling hand, and I saw my own end in that broken man. I pulled a picture from beneath my coat, found the old address on the back she wrote. Maybe that door closed years before, but I ain't dying without knocking once more. Saints don't ride this far into the night with a whiskey breath and knuckles white. Saints don't leave their angels crying alone and chase their shadows down a road of stone. I got no wings, got no shining star, just an engine and the weight of who we are. If heaven wants me, it knows where to start. But saints don't ride this far. With the porch painted blue, a child's old bicycle, flowers in bloom. A man answered softly, said, can I help you, friend? I saw her through the curtain, then turned again. I didn't knock, didn't call her name. Some apologies only reopen pain. So I left that cross by the mailbox light and whispered, you deserved a better life. I ain't redeemed, I ain't made clean, but I finally face what my leaving means. No prayer can change what these hands let fall, but a man can stop running before he loses all. Saints don't ride this far into the night with a whiskey breath and knuckles white. Saints don't leave their angels crying alone, then chase their shadows down a road of stone. I got no wings, got no shining star, just an engine and a healing scar. If heaven wants me, it knows where to start. Yeah, saints don't ride this far. By the roadside, dawn in my heart, no saint behind me, just a man making a start. Shiver on a highway sign, dust on my boots and smoke in my eyes. One hand on the throttle, nowhere left to go. Three of us laughing with the devil back then. I carry two names carved under my skin. The fire still burns when the cold wind blows. That ghost right beside me wherever I go. I poured my mercy in a whiskey glass, watched it burn with the wreckage of the past. The night asked what I am running from. I opened up the engine and said, run. There ain't no grave on this road for me, no chain on my bones, no key. Ash in my lungs and blood on my chrome, hell in my back, but I'm riding home. Let the black sky fall, let the hard wind roll. I paid for freedom with pieces of my soul. When the last light dies and the cold truth shows, I'll still be riding. There ain't no grave on this road. No grave, no grave on this road. Still riding on. Her old brass lighter lies under my seat. She said these ghosts will pull me below. Some things a broken man cannot let go. A worn-out Bible in a saddlebag, a brother's patch and a faded black rag. Every mile takes something I can't replace. Every roadside mirror shows a harder face. A preacher said a lost man ought to kneel. My only church is steel on steel. I don't ask heaven to forgive my sins, just open up the midnight and let me in. There ain't no grave on this road for me, no chain on my bones, no key. Ash in my lungs and blood on my chrome, hell in my back, but I'm riding home. Let the black sky fall, let the hard wind roll. I paid for freedom with pieces of my soul. When the last light dies and never said. I called out the brothers I lost, swore I would carry whatever it cost. I ain't clean, I ain't saved, I ain't the boy my mother once raised, but this stone heart beats beneath my coat. And as long as it beats, I ride through the smoke. If the fire wants me, let it call my name. If the road wants blood, I already paid. If dawn never finds me when the sun turns gold, tell my brothers I never sold my soul. There ain't no grave on this road for me, no chain on my bones, no key. Ash in my lungs and blood on my chrome. Hell at my back, but I'm riding home. Let the black sky fall, let the hard wind roll. I paid for freedom with pieces of my soul. When the last light dies and the cold truth shows, I'll still be riding. There ain't no grave on this road, no grave, no grave on this road. Still riding home. Ash in my lungs, miles left to go. No grave on this road. I was born by a motel over Route 39, under a vacancy light with half the letters dying. Mama held me close while my old man ran, left a silver Zippo and a curse in my hand. I grew up mean where the freight yard's grown. Learned a man gets hungry when he stands alone. First bike I stole had a busted chain, but it carried me out through the pouring rain. Every town said, boy, you'll end up dead. Every good girl tried to change my head, but I wore that warning like a battle line, 'cause I was born under a broken sign. Born under a broken sign, with a bad road heart and a rebel spine. No silver spoon, no saving hand, just a fistful of fire in a nowhere land. Let the neon flicker, let the whole world lie. I ain't scared of living, I ain't scared to die. If the Lord made rules, he knew I crossed that line. I was born under a broken sign. Broken sign, rebel spine, born to roll down the line. I found my father in a desert bar, thin as smoke with a shaking arm. He looked at me once, said, you got her eyes like 26 years could be covered by lies. I wanted to hit him, wanted him to bleed, wanted one damn reason for the life he'd leave. Then he coughed in a rag and looked away, said, son, hate costs more than I could ever pay. I stood there hard with a Zippo flame, two broken men with the same last name. He died 3 weeks in a charity bed and left one truth knocking inside my head. Born under a red lights, same desert sand. Held up that Zippo under missing letters. Thought about the blood that makes no man better. I ain't my father, I ain't his leaving. I ain't condemned to the same old grieving. I took that flame and I burned his note, then lit my way through the midnight smoke. I came from nothing, I carry scars, but the scars ain't chains and blood ain't bars. That broken side can mark where I've been. It don't get to say how my road will end. Born under a broken sign, with a hard-earned heart and a rebel spine. No silver spoon, no saving hand, but I built my fire in a nowhere land. Let the neon flicker, let the old go slide. I ain't scared of living and I ain't ready to die. I crossed that desert with my soul still mine. Yeah, I was born under a broken sign. Still mine. Broken sign, broken sign, broken sign, broken sign behind me. Wide road ahead, I ride for the living, not the dead. There's a motel sign bleeding red through the rain. A half-dead jukebox calling my name. My boots hit the gravel, my hands feel old. I traded my sleep for a heart gone cold. Got a scar from a promise I couldn't keep. Got a picture of her where the shadows sleep. She lived with the sunrise, I stayed with the road, and the weight of a life that I never told. I put my regrets on the passenger side, let the engine roll where a good man died. There's no turning back when the sky turns black. Only one more mile and a memory attack. I got whiskey on the blacktop, fire in my veins, a heart full of thunder and a head full of chains. I ride through the darkness where the lost men go, with a dead man's prayer and a radio low. Let the tires sing loud, let the night take hold. I ain't chasing heaven, I ain't scared of cold. When the devil calls my number from the side of the road, I'll pull one down and keep rolling along. Roll on, roll on along. Pull one down and roll on. I remember that summer by the county line. 4 loud engines and cheap red wine. Billy wore a grin like he couldn't lose. Now his patch hangs quiet beside my blues. We were young enough to call danger free, mean enough to think death wouldn't see. But the road takes payment, the road takes names, leaves you one last rider to carry the flame. I don't need a cross hanging over my bed. I got brotherhood living inside my head. Every mile marker, every broken bone says a man ain't finished till he quits moving on. I got whiskey on the blacktop, fire in my veins, a heart full of thunder and a head full of chains. I ride through the darkness where the lost men go, with a dead man's prayer and a radio low. Let the tires sing loud, let the night take hold. I ain't chasing heaven, I ain't scared of cold. When the devil calls my number from the side of the road, I'll pour one down and keep rolling along. seat at every bar I know, an empty name where the good ones go. I tried to drown them, tried to forget, but whiskey don't kill what a man regrets. So I carry the hurt, I carry the blame, I carry the fire, and I carry the names. And if I go down where the cold winds blow, let them say I went down, still holding the road. No white flag in this outlaw land. One last match, one last smoke, one last vow that I never broke. I got whiskey on the blacktop, fire in my veins, a heart full of thunder and a head full of change. I ride through the darkness where the lost men go, with a dead man's prayer and the radio low. Let the tide sing loud, let the night take hold. I ain't chasing heaven, I ain't scared of cold. When the devil calls my number from the side of the road, I'll pour one down and keep rolling along. I'll pour one down and keep rolling along. Whiskey on the blacktop, the names of my soul. One more night, I roll alone. Flickering sign, coffee gone cold at the county line. A waitress wiping down an empty booth said you looked like a man still running from truth. I smiled like a fool, left $1 in change, walked into a wind that remembered my name. My bike coughed smoke like an old man's prayer, and the dead road quiet in the midnight air. I spent my young blood working for the night, breaking every good thing that tried to make me right. Now the road keeps time with a heart gone cold, and the headlights dig through the stories I told. I'm on the graveyard shift on Highway 6, riding with the ghost that I never could fix. Got a moon like a bullet and a tank half gone, a soul punching in till the break of dawn. Let the blacktop judge me, let the engine confess. I wear my worst nights underneath this vest, when the whole world sleeps and the lost men exist. I'm on the graveyard shift on Highway 6, night shift. Highway 6, roll on through the mist. My brother Ray had a shop downtown, could fix any mold and never let me down. I stole from his drawer for a bottle one night. He still took my call when I lost that fight. By the time I came back with my head on straight, cancer had written his closing date. He gave me his gloves, said quit wasting your breath, then laugh like a man not afraid of death. I keep those gloves folded under my seat. mesquite grows. Laid down a ranch and a single rose. Said, Ray, I ain't fixed, but I'm trying still. Wind rolled soft over that lonely hill. I ain't worthy of the things you gave, but I won't let your love lie down in that grave. I pulled on your gloves, let the old bike twist, and rolled back out on Highway 6. One more mile, one less lie, one less bottle in the dead of night. The dawn ain't mercy, but it gives a man one more chance to do what he can. I'm on the graveyard shift on Highway 6, riding with the ghosts, learning how to live. Got a moon fading out and a tank still strong. My brother in my hands as I roll toward dawn. Let the blacktop witness, let the engine confess. I carry his name underneath this vest. When the morning breaks through the smoke and mist, I'll ride out clean from Highway 6. Ray's old gloves, sun coming through. One more road, I'll ride true. Spoke softly in a room painted gray. Said, you got some months, maybe less if you ride. I buttoned my jacket, put the papers away. Said, I've been dying slow since my brothers died. My bike sat waiting in the hospital sun, chrome catching light like a loaded gun. I coughed in my glove, tasted iron and smoke, then kicked that old engine till the silence broke. I got no children waiting at home, no woman's hand to soften my bones, just a list of names and a final ride to visit every grave before I join their side. Bury my boots by the highway, point them west where the wild wind runs. Lay my jacket down in the red dirt, let it fade beneath the burning sun. Don't dress me clean, don't speak me holy. I was rough as the road I chose, just bury my boots by the highway where a restless old rider goes. Ride west, ride slow, lay him down where the wild winds blow. First stop was Danny beneath an oak. Left him a lighter and one last smoke. Then old Ray Stone on a gravel hill. I said, save me a seat, I'm riding still. At sundown I reached where Maria lay, the only good woman I pushed away. Her name on marble made my knees give in. I laid down roses and confessed my sin. I said I loved you, though I never stayed. I know that ain't worth the price you pay. The wind moved gently through the cemetery grass like a hand letting go of the past. Bury my boots by the highway, point them west where the wild wind runs. Lay my jacket down in the red dirt, let it fade beneath the burning sun. Don't dress me clean, don't speak me holy. I was rough as the road I chose, just bury my boots by the highway Funny how mercy knows where you are. The owner came out, said you look unwell. I laughed, friend, I'm almost done raising hell. He brought me water, sat by my side, didn't ask the reason for tears in my eyes. I gave him my key, said when my time is through, take her out west. Let her see one more view. No fear in my chest, no debt left unpaid. I kissed every ghost that this hard road made. The horizon turned red, the engine sang low, and I felt my whole life say, it's time to go. Point them west where the wild wind runs. Lay my jacket down in the red dirt, let it warm beneath the setting sun. Don't dress me clean, don't speak me holy. Say I rode hard and I love too slow. Just bury my boots by the highway where this tidal rider goes. Boots in the red dirt, wind in the chrome, last road behind me. I'm finally home.